Hello and welcome back to Rock Cycle. Today we're going to be talking about the Leeds and Reading secret set this year. Now this has been a video I've been meaning to make for 2 or 3 weeks now, but normally by this point in the year we've got a good idea of who it's going to be, but this year no one seems to have any strong clue of who it will be. So let's get into it and see who is going to be the most likely to be there. Now, first of all, it looks like we're going to be having 2 or 3 different secret sets, judging from the lineup and set times that have been announced already. There looks like there's about 3 gaps for different acts to perform unless there's going to be more names added to the lineup, but that seems unlikely at this point. But unusually, these 3 are on the Festival Republic, the dance stage and the pit stage, rather than on the Radio 1 or main stage. So maybe we'll be having 3 medium-sized secret sets rather than 1 big secret set, which has been a bit more of the traditional way they've gone about it. Now first of all, I'm just going to clear up some names which have been thrown out there, but these are acts that are either busy on the weekend or on the complete opposite side of the world, so it looks like it's going to be unlikely that they will be there. That is Liam Gallagher, Bombay Bicycle Club, Foals and Slipknot, as well as Blink-182. So let's get into the first act. This is my personal favourite out of the rumoured ones, so I'm going to be a bit biased and say I feel this is one of the most likely ones, but that's probably because I love them so much, and that is Biffy Clyro. If I had to choose a band that really embodied Leeds and Reading Festival, I would choose them. I think they fit the festival really well. They're just the classic act that's always there, but they haven't been there for the past 2 or 3 years, and now with a new album out and a new album coming out pretty soon, it'd be quite fitting for them to be there to help build up some new hype. And also, despite having a new album out, they've done very few shows in the UK this year, and that seems a bit odd to me. I feel like this is a band that loves to perform live, and that's what you need for a secret set act. Because a band that does that isn't about the glitz and the glamour of having the big crowd on the main stage, it's about a small dedicated crowd. Now another big name that a lot of people seem to think might be a likely contender is Catfish and the Bottommen. With their success of their 3rd album that's just come out and their UK tour coming up in the winter and autumn, I think that might be quite a good shout for them. But the only problem with them is it has been 3 or 4 months now, I feel, since their album did come out, and all the hype and promotion for that has died down. So they don't really fit in with the general style that it is a band that just has released an album or is just about to. Next on the list is Haim. They've just released a brand new single to promote their new album that will be coming out soon. So I think it's very fitting that they'll be there, fitting in the classic style again. That's going to be something you hear me say a lot on this list. They've just got new music out or they're just going on a tour. Haim already have a solid amount of good songs and they're quite a good fun act to see live. They headlined the Radio 1 stage not too long ago, and with new music coming out they're looking on to bigger and better things, and I reckon there could be a chance they may end up headlining the festival in one of the next few years, so this would be a good way to build into that. Next on the list is another one that I would personally love to see, but I am a bit doubtful about this one unfortunately, and that's Don Broco. Really, there's no reason why people are saying they're going to be there besides the fact that Don Broco are Leeds and Reading regulars. They've been there almost every year for the past 7 or 8 years now, I think. This will be the first one they miss out for quite a while, so that's a bit unusual for them. A couple of the band members did put on some tweets about the Reading and Leeds lineup this year. They got a few people talking and people thinking that they're hinting that they're going to be there, but we may just find out as all just nothing and they just wanted to talk about the lineup. Next up is Frank Turner. Now I think this is the most likely guy to be on the Festival Republic stage. He's another Leeds and Reading regular. He's been there like a dozen times by now. He loves performing live and he loves his secret sets. He did 4 this year at Glastonbury and 2 at 2000 Trees, I think I've heard correctly. And he's also in Leeds on a Saturday night, so he seems like the kind of guy that would happily pop in the morning and do a set early on in the afternoon. Especially with his new album just coming out, it'll be a good chance to promote it, and he just loves putting on a live show, so I reckon there's a strong chance we'll be seeing him there. Up next we have a few hip-hop artists. Now that's not something I'll talk about on the channel too much, and I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert in these areas, because you know this is a rock music channel, but we have Tyler the Creator, and I feel this is a fairly likely one. He was meant to perform in Leeds Festival back in 2015, I believe, but he wasn't allowed into the country, but now that ban's been lifted, so it's time he came back and performed. Following the success of his last Igor album, I feel it'll be a great way to return to the country and celebrate that he's allowed back in here again. Now after him there's also Skepta's been thrown about a bit. I'm surprised he wasn't on the list this year. But he was meant to be here 2 years ago, but he had to cancel because of touring conflicts, I believe. So a lot of people have been talking about, yeah, he had to cancel 2 years ago, so he's due to come back and do a show at Leeds and Reading. But I personally feel that's going to make the festival bookers a bit iffy about hiring him again. If he's just cancelled, that's going to have pissed them off a bit, so I feel they may be a bit iffy about hiring him back. But who knows, maybe they believed him and thought he had legit reasons, they would have supported him and welcomed him back. And another name that's been thrown about, which I think is a bit unlikely for similar reasons, is ASAP Rocky. I believe his whole situation in Sweden's been cleared up now, so he should be fine and that shouldn't be a problem. But a few years ago he did Leeds and Reading. He did the Reading show and cancelled for Leeds for transport issues, which seems a bit dodgy to me and did to a lot of other people. Because there has been a bit of a trend at Leeds and Reading Festival that artists will do the Reading Festival show and then not do the Leeds one. They'll cancel it for fairly vague reasons. It's happened a few times. I've seen a lot of conspiracy theories out there saying it's because the Reading Festival gets a lot more coverage and promotion. The artists go there, they get all the hype out, they get the videos recorded and promoted around the internet and all the publications, etc. And then they don't care about the Leeds one. Now whether that's true or not is up for debate, but if the festival bookers believe it to be true, it may make them a bit iffy about hiring him to come back too. Now for another name that I was surprised wasn't on the lineup posted this year was Architects. Since Bring Me the Horizon and moved on into whatever genre you can call them now, Architects have risen up and become the UK's #1 metalcore band. Now it does seem Reading and Leeds are moving into new directions with their music, and there was very little metal and metalcore style music there this year. But having a big band like Architects come and do the secret set on the pit, I think will be enough to keep the old fans of the festival who liked it back in its heavier days, or keep them happy, I reckon. Now for another personal favourite of mine, Jana Kerr. This band has been exploding the past year. They've been doing great things for themselves, just had their debut album out that did really well, and got a UK tour coming up. So again, they fit that general pattern of a band that would do a secret set, and they're a really hot band right now and they have great potential, and I reckon give Jana Kerr another 10 years or so and they could be back to headline Leeds and Reading. So I think it'd be a good shout to have them as a secret set this year and start building up the hype and getting their name out there at this festival. Now another one for the indie fans, Two Door Cinema Club. Again and again and again I'm saying this, just had an album out, got a UK tour, that fits the bill. Now yes, that would fit in very well, especially on the 975 day. I'm sure a lot of the people there seeing those indie acts on the indie day would like to see Two Door, and I think it would be a great addition for the lineup for that. So I think there could be a shout that they might be there, but I've seen a few people say things about them, but there doesn't seem to be much hype around them being there. Now we have Kaiser Chiefs. Considering that Leeds is probably the most successful band of all time, they have not been at Reading and Leeds for quite a while, despite it being their hometown festival. They used to be quite regulars at the festival. They performed there fairly often in the late noughties, but they haven't been there for quite a while now. I do feel that maybe partly because they are a band that I feel have declined with quality in each album, and you can argue that, but they've definitely gone down in size and they would draw a much smaller crowd now compared to they would several years ago, but I reckon they'd still get a good sized crowd and a lot of people would be happy to see them there, and I think it's about time we had them back at Leeds Festival. Idols are another British band that have been doing insane things over the past year. They're really hot right now. Personally, I don't get all the hype about them, but people are absolutely loving them. They're at festivals all over the place, bringing big crowds every time they perform, so surprisingly, they aren't at Reading and Leeds because they are another band that is built for this festival. So a lot of people are saying because of that they seem likely that they will be at the secret set this year, and I reckon there's a chance they will be, but if not, they're like a guaranteed on the lineup next year. And last but definitely not least by a long shot is Arctic Monkeys. This is a band that have been thrown out by everyone being so hopeful, but it just seems so unlikely at this point, I'm afraid. They are definitely a Reading and Leeds band, and they haven't been at the festival for a few years now. I think it's been 4 or 5, and they're definitely due coming back there after their last album. But Alex Turner does strike me as the kind of guy who wouldn't want to play a secret set. He seems like the kind of guy who'd want to perform when his name's on the top of the poster and all the attention's on him, which you do lose in a secret set. So maybe that makes them less likely to be it, but if they were the secret set, it would be insane and people would be loving it, definitely. So that's my takes on the rumours about Leeds and Reading's secret set this year. I reckon 1 or 2 of these acts that have been mentioned there's a good chance they'll be there, but who knows who else could be there. It could be something right out of the blue. Feel I've probably been a bit off and a bit tired in this video. It's because I've kept having to push this back and back and back because I wanted to wait until we had a bit more of a solid rumour or gossip to go on to make this video, and it's ended up it's got so close to the festival I've just had to rush it and do it when I am pretty tired. So anyways, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. If you want to comment, like, subscribe, the usual YouTube shit, that would be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you in the next video.